His salary went from 22k to 41k in just 4 years. So why does he have less money now at the end of the month than he did back then? Today we're doing a bank statement breakdown on somebody who proves that earning more money doesn't always fix your financial problems. In fact, sometimes it actually makes them worse. Today we're taking a look at Marcus's bank statement to see what's really going wrong, and I'll be honest with you, this one frustrated me more than most. When you see how close this guy is to being in a brilliant position and then you see where the money's really going, it's painful. Now, what can you expect in today's video? We're dealing with a guy here who got the big promotion and he felt like he'd made it, and good for him, he's doing well for himself. But then he proceeded to upgrade absolutely everything. We're talking the flat, the car, the social life, everything, the lot. We ran the numbers and this is a prime example of lifestyle creep. This is costing him around £1.5 million in the long run. So as well as checking out the bank statement and running the numbers, we will also be putting a roadmap in place for Marcus to get his finances back on track. We haven't seen anybody living above their means like this before on the channel. So let's get into it. Let's take a quick look at Marcus's profile to see who we're dealing with here. So Marcus is a 27-year-old quantity surveyor based in Leeds. As we mentioned, he was earning 22k 4 years ago when he first joined the company, and now he's worked his way up and he's on £41,000 a year. The lad's doing well and good for him, but it doesn't take long for the problems to start arising. He's a single lad, and back then he was paying around £450 per month in rent, which was very reasonable. He's worked his way up, the ego kicked in, and now we've got £1,200 per month in rent. So his salary nearly doubled, but his rent nearly tripled. Already, it's not adding up. He's got £1,700 in credit card debt, which is no surprise. You're going to see that for yourselves very soon. And just £300 in savings, which I think is very, very poor given his earnings. There is so much potential here for Marcus, but as you're going to see for yourself, lifestyle creep is very real. All right, so now it's time to check out the bank statement and see where the problems really lie. And as always, we set a somewhat relevant profile picture to the person. We're not going to dox the real Marcus, so instead today we've gone for Marcus Rashford. You'll also notice that the balance is currently minus £589.57. Now I can assure you that this is not a reflection of Marcus Rashford's bank account. And we'll get into why the balance looks like this at the end of the statement. So for those who don't know, as we're going through this, we will be putting the spending into 3 different categories. Each transaction will be marked in green for essential spending, yellow for things that we will allow, and red for things that are absolutely not acceptable. So first of all, we've got the salary, the take home, coming in at £2,588.83. Now, just to put this into perspective, this used to be, back on the first salary that he had with the company, around £1,600. So almost an extra £1,000 a month. So how is this going so wrong? Well, we're going to see. The first transaction going out is the rent, and as we mentioned, this has nearly tripled to £1,200. Now, upgrading the rent when you get such a big pay rise isn't the problem in itself. It's about doing it responsibly. So to put this into perspective, the percentage amount of the rent versus the take home on his old salary used to be around 28%. Now the rent is taking up 43.6% of that take home. It isn't just a huge increase compared to his old lifestyle, it's also above the average rate in the UK. And this is just the first of many problems. But despite the rent being way too high, we do still mark it in green because it is essential to pay your rent. Next up, we have the utility bills coming in at around £294. Now, just to make the video flow a lot easier, I have grouped a lot of spending into subsections, into categories, so it's easier to follow. So under this, we're talking about the council tax, the electric, the gas, the water, you know, the stuff that we need to live. And that actually seems a very reasonable amount given the circumstances, so we will mark that in green alongside the groceries, which again seems reasonable at £235. Next, Next we have the credit card payment every month for £42.50. Now this one kills me because most of it is actually paying off interest. And the reason it's there is because we're still paying off last summer's Ibiza trip. Now in my mind, if you're going on a trip like this, you save up first, you pay for it, and then you go, not the other way around. Now, as we mentioned earlier, one of the upgrades that come with this lifestyle creep was also the car, which is no surprise. Marcus was driving a 2014 Ford Fiesta and he was living to his means. It was a very humble car. But he got the pay rises, he got the promotions, and all of a sudden we're leasing a BMW 1 Series for £345 per month. This works out at around 12.7% per month of his take home. Now for me, I'm marking this one in red because it is unnecessary, and as I've mentioned time and time again, I do believe that car financing is one of the biggest wealth killers of our generation. And although this car does use more fuel and it is more expensive with the insurance, I'm still going to be fairly lenient with this one and mark it in green as it comes to £200 per month. The total amount for his subscriptions going out every month is £72.90. Now, to be honest, this isn't the worst, but it's also not the best. I'd just be more interested to find out how many of these subscriptions he's actually using every month. And even though it's not the worst, I'm still going to mark it in red because with a balance like that, we clearly can't afford it. We then got the gym membership for £49.90 a month. I'm actually going to mark this one in yellow and allow it. I don't see any other spend on other hobbies, any physical activities as such, so this one's absolutely fine for me. But the big no-no that goes hand in hand with the gym here is the £160 per month using a personal trainer. Marcus is paying £40 per week for a 1 hour PT session. Now, I'm not judging you if you need that extra motivation or whatever the reason may be, but this is a luxury that you simply cannot afford right now. Ditching the PT is going to be one of the easiest savings that we can make on this statement. We've then got another red spend with the pubs and bars at £177. Now, I can't really say I'm surprised at this point. We've then got another red, which I've labelled as convenience spend. We're talking about going grabbing some lunch at work. We're talking about the coffees, the energy drinks. £116.45 every month just gone on crap. After that, we've got another red spend, this time in Selfridges for £195. Now, in my mind, anybody with a little bit of common sense here would look at their bank statement and realise, oh, maybe I can't afford that Casablanca t-shirt this month. But apparently not Marcus, because his priority is to wear a nice t-shirt. And then the final thing worthwhile of including on the statement for this video is the phone bill at £65.25. I've definitely seen worse phone bills on this channel in the past, but I think it's fair to say that there are some more pressing issues in this statement. Total outflow for the month tallies up to £3,178.40, including some little bits and bobs that weren't worth including in the video. So obviously, going back to the initial balance, when you compare that total outflow to the salary coming in, we have got a net negative month. And to be honest, it's not even close. To me, it's very obvious that Marcus is in the comfortable trap. He thinks he's winning with a pretty decent salary, but it's being wasted on the car, the PT, luxuries that clearly he can't afford. Although he might think he's doing okay now, he is one flat tire or one rent hike away from pure panic. And the most sad thing here is even with this salary, he is building absolutely no wealth. All right, so a quick tally up of the three categories. First of all, we've got the essentials coming in at £1,929, which caters for 74% of the take home. Now, this percentage is definitely on the higher side, and sometimes we cut people some slack because they're living alone. However, even though we put the £1,200 rent into the essentials, that is definitely a big problem. Next up, we have the allow it category at £117.80, which is just 4.5% of that take home, and that's absolutely fine. And then finally, the big shocking number, the come on mate category, marked in red at £1,131.60. This does come to around 43.7% of that take home. But luckily for Marcus, there are some very easy fixes here. The problem is, he might not like them. Now it's time for the spicy part of the video because we are going to run the numbers and make Marcus cry. Now, I believe that he has two different options here. First of all, he can eat his humble pie, or secondly, he can start cutting back on some of the crap. So these are the things that we can put into the calculations if he is to eat that humble pie. First of all, I believe that he can cut this rent back by around £400. He would also have to ditch the car, which I know he's really not going to like. And we need to get this credit card dealt with immediately because this debt with this salary is a problem. If we was to do this, this would free up around £787.50 every month. If we was to invest this based on an average 10% return of the S&P 500 over a 33-year time frame, taking Marcus up to 60 years old, this would come to around £2.2 million tax-free because he would be able to utilise a stocks and shares ISA. So the question for Marcus at this point, is the humble pie worth £2.2 million? 33 years may feel like a lifetime away, but trust me, it will come. However, let's say Marcus doesn't want to do this and he'd rather cut back on the crap. As an example, let's say he's willing to cut back on his social spend by around 50%. We're talking about the bars, the crap food, we're also talking about the subscriptions, cutting out the PT completely, and not buying the Casablanca t-shirt from Selfridges. This comes to around £533.17 per month. So again, 10% over 33 years, we're looking closer to £1.5 million. Now, if you ask me, these seem like some very reasonable options because if you was going to put all of this together, it would be £1,320 per month, which would come to 3.7 million. And of course, I'm fully aware that this is not realistic. So let's run the numbers that I would do. If it was me, I would be doing something about the rent, which I'll talk about in more detail during the roadmap. I'd be ditching the car because, like I mentioned, I'm very anti-car finance. And I'd also be cutting back on the personal trainer spend and the spend in Selfridges. Now, just these four things, not including the credit card, not compromising on his social life, is going to tally up to £1,100 per month, which would be £3 million at the age of 60. Now, granted, the spend every month isn't going to be exactly the same. Other things will crop up, but it definitely paints the picture. But I mean, the way I look at this is if you live in a more affordable and realistic home, if you drive a more humble car, if you don't need a PT, if you can train by yourself and motivate yourself, and if you don't need to buy a brand new t-shirt for nearly £200, you're going to have £3 million in the future. Now, I get not everybody sees things the same way as I do, but it feels like a no-brainer here. Guys, if you are enjoying the video, if it is helpful, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Also comment to let me know if you feel like that was a realistic outlook on how Marcus can save some money. And don't forget, if you want to feature on the channel, if you want to have your bank statement looked at, there will be a Google form down below in the description for you to fill out and provide all the details that we need. But don't worry, your personal details will be kept anonymous. All right, so now we've looked at the numbers, it's time to put Marcus's roadmap in place. And it's going to be a very simple three-step process. Step number one is going to be to cut back on the spend, and this is however Marcus feels is fit. Now, we just ran the numbers on what could be if he was investing these amounts, but one thing that we have to keep in mind is that the first thing we need to do is live to our paycheck. You can't even consider investing if you are spending more than you're earning. And like I mentioned, if it was me, the first thing I would be doing is cutting back on the rent and ditching the car. And he doesn't even need to consider downgrading the flat or the apartment. He could also consider finding a roommate, considering it is a 2-bed place. Once we've got the spending under control, it is now time for step two, which is paying off the credit card aggressively. Credit cards can be a very slippery slope and it can be very hard to get out of them. You're paying interest most of the time for absolutely no reason, and it is something that everybody should try and avoid. And yes, it may take some time, but with some consistency and some patience, it will happen sooner rather than later. And then finally, step number three is to build up an emergency fund before we start investing. Like we mentioned earlier, a top tire could be be a big problem for Marcus as it stands. And that's exactly what an emergency fund is for. If he can get 3 months runway put together, he's going to be in a much more comfortable situation. We can clearly see that Marcus is a very switched on lad. He's earning a great salary and he clearly works hard. But the lifestyle creep is real, and I can imagine he hasn't even realised it's happened. Slowly over time, the odd upgrade here, upgrade there, little spend here, it all starts to add up. And I have full faith that if Marcus sits down and evaluates this situation and looks at the numbers, he can get things in a good place. Now, last week we took a look at Mike, who was playing paddle that much that it was costing him over £1 million in the long run. I know it's a trendy sport and everybody's loving it right now, but this got way out of control. If you want to check that one out, the link will be somewhere on the screen right now.